Natalie Wood's untimely death was officially ruled a tragic accident for decades, yet shocking new evidence and persistent, troubling questions continue to suggest a far more sinister narrative. Witnesses have reported hearing desperate screams echoing across the dark water. Her husband's account of that fateful night has reportedly shifted and evolved over time. Disturbing bruises were found on her body, injuries that some forensic experts argue didn't align with the official explanation of an accidental drowning. And buried deep within the complex tapestry of her past was a dark Hollywood secret, a trauma she may have never truly escaped. Why was the initial investigation into her death seemingly delayed, and some argue, incomplete? Why did powerful and influential names remain largely shielded from rigorous scrutiny? And why, after more than 40 agonizing years, are an increasing number of voices asserting that the full truth about her final moments has finally begun to be uncovered? And that this truth is far more chilling and disturbing than anyone had ever dared to imagine. Dear viewers, before continuing this video, we kindly ask you to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, if you want to receive notifications about new video releases, please hit the bell icon. Thank you for your understanding. She was, for a generation, the undeniable golden girl of Hollywood. Her radiant smile gracing glamorous red carpets, her luminous image shining from countless magazine covers, her undeniable talent dazzling audiences in movie theaters worldwide. But behind Natalie Wood's meticulously crafted, seemingly perfect public facade existed a hidden, often tumultuous private world, one characterized by profound pain, suffocating control, and a pervasive, underlying current of fear. Her sudden, inexplicable death at the young age of 43 sent shockwaves through Hollywood and across the globe. But perhaps even more shocking is the persistent, unsettling fact that the complete truth about what transpired on that tragic night has remained shrouded in mystery and speculation for over 4 decades. What was the origin of Natalie Wood's intense, almost pathological fear of dark water? Why did she once reportedly confide in a close friend, with chilling prescience, that she harbored a fear that her own husband was going to bring about her end? And why, after so many years, filled with persistent rumors, unanswered questions, and shifting narratives, has no one ever been definitively held accountable for her final, terrifying moments? Natalie Wood's life commenced in the long shadows of hardship and immigrant aspirations. Born on July 20, 1938, in San Francisco as Natalia Nikolaevna Zakharenko, she was the daughter of Russian immigrants, Maria and Nikolai, who had fled their homeland seeking a better life in America, though financial struggles persistently dogged them. Her ambitious mother, Maria, became utterly convinced that the family's only viable path out of poverty lay through the burgeoning talents of little Natalie. By the time Natalie was merely 4 years old, Maria was relentlessly pushing her exceptionally beautiful daughter into the world of acting. This began with tiny, almost unnoticeable roles, which then systematically led her into the demanding, high-pressure vortex of Hollywood child stardom. It was far from a gentle or nurturing introduction. In a particularly cruel incident on one film set, when a very young Natalie found herself unable to cry on cue, Maria reportedly tore a live butterfly apart directly in front of her, deliberately forcing the sensitive child into a state of genuine, inconsolable distress. This manipulative tactic worked for the camera, but it was a deeply scarring moment, one that would come to define much of Natalie's complex and often fraught relationship with both her career and her domineering mother. Despite the undeniable emotional turmoil that often characterized her early years, Natalie's natural, innate talent for acting simply couldn't be denied. She possessed a rare and captivating ability to seamlessly blend a childlike innocence with a profound and often surprising emotional intensity. Her significant breakthrough came at the tender age of 8, in the perennial holiday classic Miracle on 34th Street, 1947, where she memorably played Susan Walker. This iconic role instantly made her a household name and effectively launched a remarkable career. As Natalie grew older, she fought with fierce determination to break free from the often limiting confines of the child star image. Her defining, transformative moment arrived with Rebel Without a Cause, 1955, where she starred opposite the legendary James Dean, earning an Oscar nomination at just 17. She followed this with powerful roles in West Side Story, 1961, and Splendor in the Grass, 1961, solidifying her status as one of Hollywood's brightest stars. To the outside world, Natalie Wood appeared to have it all. Her romance with fellow actor Robert Wagner was the stuff of breathless headlines. Yet one of the most eerie and little-known facts about her life was her profound, almost paralyzing fear of dark water, stemming from a childhood psychic's prediction, relayed by her mother, that she would die by drowning. A prophecy that haunted her entire existence. After more than 4 decades of speculation, the perplexing case of Natalie Wood's death has been jolted by new testimonies. Recent eyewitnesses have come forward, claiming they heard Natalie Wood screaming for help and being audibly assaulted on the night she vanished from the yacht Splendor. One such witness, a deckhand on a nearby boat who was only 17 at the time, recalls hearing a violent argument, a woman's cries of distress, sounds of a physical struggle, and then a chilling silence. His account, long ignored, adds to the growing unease. Investigative author Marty Rulli, in her upcoming book, Natalie Wood and the Devil She Knew, argues there's sufficient new material to warrant reopening the case and convening a grand jury, which would allow for testimony under oath. A step never fully taken. Perhaps most disturbingly, Marilyn Wayne, who was anchored nearby that fateful night, has consistently maintained she heard a woman's desperate cries. "Help me! Someone please help me! I'm drowning!" Wayne also alleges Natalie had previously confided a chilling fear. "Wagner is going to kill me." These claims paint a grim picture, starkly contrasting with the initial findings. Robert Wagner was officially named a person of interest by the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department in February 2018, yet he has consistently refused to fully cooperate with investigators. Lieutenant John Carina of the LASD has publicly stated that Wagner's version of events doesn't align with other witness accounts. Compounding the suspicion is the significant delay in the search and rescue effort. The Coast Guard wasn't notified until around 3:30 a.m., over 4 hours after Natalie was last reportedly seen. The rescue boat captain, Roger Smith, wasn't called until nearly 6 hours after her disappearance, a critical loss of time in any potential drowning scenario. The autopsy further complicated the narrative, revealing a blood alcohol level of 0.14% and traces of medication, alongside multiple bruises on her arms, legs, and face that some forensic experts believe are inconsistent with a simple accidental fall. This led the Los Angeles Coroner's Office in 2012 to amend her cause of death to drowning and other undetermined factors, acknowledging the possibility of foul play. Natalie Wood was a mere 10 years old when she first expressed her intention to one day marry Robert Wagner, a handsome actor whose image she'd seen. Years later, at 18, this childhood proclamation became reality when she began dating Wagner, culminating in a glamorous Scottsdale, Arizona wedding on December 28, 1957. They became Hollywood's golden couple, their union celebrated as a fairy tale. However, the idyllic public image masked a private reality reportedly fraught with insecurity, issues of control, and simmering resentment. As Natalie's star ascended in the early 1960s, with Oscar nominations and leading roles, Wagner's career, predominantly in television, didn't keep pace, allegedly fueling tensions. Rumors circulated about Wagner's jealousy over Natalie's success and the attention she received from other men, suggesting a possessive streak. A particularly explosive, though unconfirmed rumor, alleged that Natalie discovered Wagner in an intimate situation with another man, a purported catalyst for their separation in June 1962 and subsequent divorce by April 1962. Following their split, Natalie's romantic life remained tumultuous, including a passionate but volatile affair with Warren Beatty. She later married British producer Richard Gregson, with whom she had her daughter, Natasha, in 1970. This marriage, however, dissolved after Natalie reportedly discovered Gregson was having an affair with her secretary. In a surprising turn, Natalie and Robert Wagner reconnected in January 1972, nearly a decade after their divorce. Both single again, their rekindled romance was swift, leading to a quiet second wedding on a yacht off the Malibu coast on July 16, 1972. This choice of venue, the ocean that Natalie so deeply feared, was laden with a poignant, perhaps ominous, symbolism. They blended their families, and in 1974, welcomed their daughter, Courtney. For a time, they seemed to have recaptured happiness, but reports from those close to them suggested a resurgence of old patterns, including Wagner's alleged possessiveness concerning Natalie's career and her interactions with male colleagues, and that their arguments could be intensely emotional. Natalie's daughter, Natasha Gregson Wagner, in her HBO documentary Natalie Wood, What Remains Behind, has spoken of Wagner as a loving stepfather, while also acknowledging the difficulty of reconciling this image with the persistent questions surrounding her mother's death, illustrating the profound contradictions at the heart of this enduring Hollywood tragedy. The Thanksgiving weekend of November 1981 was meant to be a leisurely escape aboard the Splendor, the Wagner's luxurious yacht, moored off Catalina Island. Natalie Wood, Robert Wagner, her brainstorm co-star Christopher Walken, and the yacht's captain, Dennis Davern, were on board. However, the outing, plagued by poor weather and simmering tensions, ended in unimaginable tragedy. That Saturday evening, the group dined ashore at Doug's Harbor Reef, where, according to witnesses, alcohol flowed freely, and a heated argument erupted between Wagner and Walken, reportedly concerning Natalie's career ambitions. Walken allegedly encouraged Natalie to remain focused on her work, a sentiment that seemed to agitate Wagner, who desired her to prioritize their family. The conflict reportedly continued once they returned to the Splendor. Dennis Davern has stated that Wagner, fueled by jealousy over Walken's rapport with Natalie, smashed a wine bottle in anger. What transpired next is a vortex of conflicting accounts. Wagner claims Natalie retired to bed and was later discovered missing. Davern, however, alleges Wagner knew Natalie was gone much earlier and deliberately delayed sounding the alarm, instructing him not to use searchlights or contact the Coast Guard immediately. This delay, potentially over 4 hours, is a critical point of contention. Around midnight, Marilyn Wayne, on a nearby boat, reported hearing a woman's desperate cries of "Help me! Someone please help me! I'm drowning!" followed by a man's dismissive reply, "Okay, honey," after which the cries ceased. Despite her attempts to report this, her testimony was initially overlooked. The Coast Guard was finally alerted around 3:30 a.m. Natalie's body, clad in a nightgown, jacket, and socks, was found hours later, a mile from the yacht. The Splendor's dinghy was beached nearby, its lines, according to some reports, still tied, casting doubt on the theory that she fell while trying to secure it, an act her profound fear of dark water and boats made unlikely in any case. The amended death certificate citing drowning and other undetermined factors, coupled with the bruises found on her body, keeps the shadow of foul play lingering heavily over that dark, tragic night. In a startling 2021 revelation that cast a long, dark shadow over Natalie Wood's life, her younger sister, Lana Wood, in her book Little Sister, My Investigation into the Mysterious Death of Natalie Wood, alleged that Natalie had confided a deeply traumatic secret. She had been sexually assaulted as a young teenager by one of Hollywood's most powerful and celebrated figures, Kirk Douglas. This alleged incident, according to Lana, occurred in the 1950s when Natalie was a 16-year-old rising star. Her ambitious mother, Maria, ever keen to advance Natalie's career, reportedly arranged a meeting between her young daughter and Douglas, then a titan of the film industry, at the Chateau Marmont Hotel. Lana recounts Natalie returning from this meeting visibly shaken and distressed, confiding to her sister, "He hurt me, Lana." For years, Natalie reportedly carried the immense burden of this alleged trauma in silence, sharing it with almost no one. This accusation, if true, offers a chilling glimpse into the often exploitative power dynamics of old Hollywood, where young actresses were particularly vulnerable. It raises profound questions about how such an early, damaging experience might have influenced Natalie's subsequent personal decisions, her relationships with men, her sense of self-worth, and her ability to navigate the often treacherous landscape of fame. In an era where powerful men in Hollywood were heavily shielded by studios and a culture of silence, young women who might have considered speaking out against abuse faced the very real threat of career annihilation. This alleged early experience of violation, kept secret for so long, adds another layer of tragedy to Natalie Wood's already complex and ultimately heartbreaking story, suggesting that the fears and vulnerabilities that may have contributed to her demise had roots far deeper than the dark waters off Catalina Island. As this video wraps up, we'd like to remind you to like and subscribe to our channel. Your support is vital for our channel's growth and helps us keep creating content. To be notified about new videos, remember to hit that bell icon. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.